On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was.
PS12, baby.
Oh my god, honestly, it's just such a good time to be a Swiftie right now. The last week has just been crazy and I'm just so excited to talk to you guys about this album. So let's dive into all things Life of a Showgirl. Starting off, let's talk about the visuals. I think I'm gonna break this up into 2 videos and we're gonna now talk about the visuals and all the various album variants and the different theories behind them, and then I'm gonna make another video talking about the track list and what we think we're gonna get from every song. In my last video, I mentioned that I didn't know how I was gonna feel about the mint green orange combination because before the album cover was released on the website, it just looked a little crazy. And now seeing it in the cover, it makes a lot more sense because it's really giving like hectic vibes, even in the way that the album title is like split up and that the artwork is kind of caught up here and there. It's almost like shattered glass, and the contrast of these colors does really bring it all together. And I think it even represents the duality of like front stage, backstage, performance versus reality. Because notice how instead of putting an image of her on stage, it's like behind the scenes. She has taken us behind the scenes to a very intimate moment, her in a bathtub, something that is often not seen when you look at performers. And obviously we know she's very much intentional about this, as she talked about on the New Heights podcast. She talked about how when she's on tour, every day is almost the same. She might be in a new city, but the day is the same and it always ends up with her in a bathtub. Of course, this is a glamorized version of that where she's like completely bejeweled. But like I said in the podcast, she talks about how this album is really about the behind the scenes. She described the album as infectious, but also with lyricism from like the folklore era. So this is gonna take me out. Like this is gonna be the death of us. Like I'm so curious about the type of stories we are gonna be getting here. Because aside from the cover being hectic, it like low-key has some eeriness to it. Do you guys see what I mean? Like the way that her face is coming out of the water and it's like exactly around her lips is kind of like reminding me of Chelsea's smile. And maybe it's a contrast with the colors, or it's like making me think of like a fun house, which immediately makes me think of like horror films. So what do you guys think? Do you also get like this eerie vibe from it? Like it's portraying something that might look positive, but might turn out to be like the most negative thing ever. And so let's dive into the rest of the visuals for this era. And a lot of people have noticed the similarities between the Rep photo shoot and this one. So everybody's thinking that this is definitely gonna be like a sister album type of situation. And at the same time, it's important to note that she worked with the same photographers for Reputation that she worked for this album. And I think if she did view this as a sister album, she would want to keep this kind of coherent look and feel. So the first cover we just discussed was the sweet and vanilla cover. And the other variants that we have are starting off with It's Frightening. Like this one, I think is probably my least favorite. Like she looks fierce, but her body language to me is not giving that same energy that is on her face. And this could be to kind of put a focus on the duality of the entertainment business. The next one is It's Rapturous. This is one of those images that really resembles Reputation. I love this one. It's gorgeous. And I think it's actually my favorite one. And I also want to point out that her haircut here is very similar to the hair in the music video for George Michael's father's figure. So we're going to talk about that when we get into the songs, why that's relevant. But while we're here talking about it, I just want to mention it because as you've probably seen, there is a track called Father Figure that does in fact interpolate some of those elements from George Michael's song. And moving on to the last one, It's Beautiful. Again, kind of similar to looks we've seen in Reputation. So this is almost like her tying her past into her current situation. What do you guys think about those titles? It's like, it's something, it's something. Do we think it's maybe some lyrics, part of maybe a bridge that builds up to something, maybe some like ad-libs in the background? For TTPD, she used song titles, which is obviously not the case here. So lyrics are kind of my best bet. Or maybe something that we are going to see as part of that poem that will be included in the vinyl. Of course, I need to talk about the somewhat disappointing countdown that we had just a couple of days ago. I think everybody was very hyped thinking we were going to get like a single or a teaser. I don't know what we were expecting, but it was not a special edition vinyl. So unfortunately for some of us, it was this limited edition vinyl. The Shiny Buck collection. Let's talk about it. Funnily enough, I saw people talking about that at the Eras tour, every time she swallowed a bug, she was wearing an orange dress. And I'm like, oh my God, was that staged? Was that an Easter egg? Or is it just like the most random coincidence, like that the world spun around in a way that made that just happen? I don't know. Not to mention when people are like researching about this like shiny bug, like where is that coming from? There's this one beetle that kept popping up over and over again, and it's like sometimes greenish orange and then other times it's like more purpley blue. It's called a dogbane beetle, and the funny thing about it is that it comes from Ohio, which is where Travis is from. But I'm like, okay, maybe now we're drawing too many conclusions. I don't think Taylor has thought this far about these things. Anyway, so we got the 2 variants for the Shiny Bug collection. Something crazy about them is that people also noticed that Taylor was already teasing these already from the Midnights era. Like, she was already planning these designs, which is crazy, but we know she wasn't working on this music back then, but I think she was already having like a vision of where she wanted to go next, at least like aesthetically, and maybe she even had a sound in mind, which makes me want to talk about Antihero. And oh my god, I am a mess today. I'm so sorry. It's so hard to talk about Taylor Swift stuff without wanting to jump from like one thing to the other, because there's just so many like Easter eggs or clues or theories that you can just bounce around from like different things. But let's go back to the Shiny Bug special edition, whatever it's called, because I have some theories on why she chose this. Okay, so the fan theories that I found was like the first one, people are thinking that it could be about like transformation. Apparently bugs, especially beetles, often symbolize transformation. And with this, they think maybe Taylor is just symbolizing the change in her life. The next theory that I saw is all about her being like a shiny bug, being used as like a metaphor for someone dazzling under the spotlight. Maybe even almost about feeling small and insignificant, but at the same time feeling like you're a lot more than that and like dressing the part. Maybe there's some vulnerability there, like it could all be taken away from you in any second. The next theory that I saw was all about it being like an inside joke. Maybe when the album comes out, there will be some lyrics or something like that that will kind of make us understand where this was coming from. And then the final theory that I saw was that I didn't even know that this was a thing, but apparently some people collect like rare beetles and like other types of bugs. And in this case, it's like the vinyls. So what do you guys think is the deal behind this like shiny bug collection? Like, what do you think it symbolizes? What do you think it means? And now, yes, I'm excited to talk about Antihero. Because during Antihero, like we were just saying, in the Midnights era, she was already kind of hinting towards the look and feel of this other era. And she was like rocking this outfit that is obviously like screaming showgirl. Not to mention the introduction of like this persona of Taylor happens 47 seconds into the song. And now if you're wondering like, what does 40 seconds have to do with anything? But like during the New Heights podcast, you might remember that Taylor thanked Jason for screaming like her introduction for 47 seconds. Like this is getting out of hand. Like this is nuts. In the video, we also see this like orange arrow shoot into her and then all this like purple stuff bleeds out of her. And that's not the only time in the video where we see that purple goo. Like it really happens throughout the video. So my personal impression of this is that she already had the vision for what she wanted the next album to be. But then with things happening in her life, like with Joe or Maddie Healy or other personal stuff, she started just writing this other album that became the Tortured Poets Department. And I think that was more of a emotional outlet for her. Like, I don't think she was at a stage in her life where she wanted to do something more like cheerful and upbeat. So I think the Tortured Poets was more like an ad hoc thing. Okay, so I really want to talk about the track list, but this video is going to get really long if I do that. So like I said, I'm going to split those two videos. Okay, so we're going to call it quits on this video because here I just really wanted to talk about the visuals and some of the theories on how Midnights was kind of a gateway coming towards the life of a showgirl, but ended up being intersected by the Tortured Poets. Let me know if you have more theories or things that I missed from Antihero, because I'm pretty sure that there are a lot. I kind of put this together really quickly because I was just excited to talk about the visuals. So maybe we can do something more in depth down the line. But the next video for sure is gonna be on the album track list and what we can expect from them and other theories around that. And I'm very excited for that one too. So I hope you guys stick around for that. And thank you so much for hanging out with me as always. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.